Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is February 13th, 2025, the first day of Lupercalia, an ancient Roman festival of sacrifice. 9 years ago today, the big story was the death of Antonin Scalia, found dead on the ranch hunting with his Catholic secret society buddies. Instantly, rumors began that it had something to do with Obama number 44, but most people overlooked it was the 44th day of the year. The Democratic Party failed to get in a Supreme Court justice, having a rare opportunity, which allowed Donald Trump to put his in by the numbers, Neil McGill Gorsuch. Anyhow, if you recall, the death of Antonin Scalia had a lot to do with the number 132. And February 13th is a date that can be written 13/2, like 132. Again, you learn gematria, you find out the relevance of that number. And then it's not arbitrary. There's 132 rooms in the White House. One of the headlines today is the death of Jim Guy Tucker, who was the governor of Arkansas after Bill Clinton left that office to become the president of the United States. And these two men were connected to the Whitewater scandal. And Jim Guy Tucker had to resign over it, whereas Bill Clinton did not. I want you to see how perfect this ritual is with his death today on this day and what it clearly has to do with Whitewater, and I'll remind you where it fits in with Antonin Scalia. He resigned in history July 15th, 1996, near the end of Bill Clinton's first term, around the same time Monica Lewinsky took over the headlines. But yeah, there's two things that are interesting here. From the anniversary of his resignation to his death today, 213, is 213 days later. And gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, there are multiple ciphers. The most simple cipher is the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. With that cipher, Whitewater equates to 132. And again, a lot of the world writes today's date 13/2 as in 132. Again, there's 132 rooms in the White House. United States of America also has a gematria value of 132. And remember, the United States was named on September 9th, 1776, a span of 132 days from the Illuminati being founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt on May 1st of the same year. But there's also something known as satanic gematria. And in this cipher, death is 213. And this is a fateful number that we've also seen multiple times. So go figure, 213 days from the anniversary on 213 or 13/2, when his legacy is disgrace from being connected to Whitewater. And if you're new here, the four base ciphers of the alphabetic order, or of the English language, I should say, are the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. Again, Antonin Scalia, who died on this day in history, his name is 132. He was the first Roman Catholic Supreme Court justice. Notice Roman Catholic 132, like Antonin Scalia. And did you notice how Roman Catholic is 219 in reverse, just like Antonin Scalia is? Remember, after he died, his body laid in repose at the Supreme Court on February 19th, 2016, which was also a date with 57 numerology, and Supreme Court is 57, and Rome is 57, and federal's 50, or excuse me, federal's actually not 57, but DC, what's now the federal city, used to be known as Rome on the Potomac. So yes, Jim Guy Tucker. And one other thing that's interesting is today's the 179th day of Bill Clinton's age. That's the 41st prime number. Bill Clinton was the 41st person to be president. Of course, he was number 42, like he went to Georgetown, the Jesuit university that opened in 1789, the year that we get the first president recognized in the history books, George Washington. And notice how Georgetown has the 42 connection as well as 57. George Washington inaugurated 57 2 months after Georgetown opened. George alone's also 57. Again, it was Rome on the Potomac shortly before it became Washington, D.C., owned by a man named Francis Pope, not to be confused with Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope. But every year on this day, the 44th day of the year, seems to be a death connected to the political world. And remember, there's that song out there, Murder by Numbers, where killings as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3, and how it's the sport of the elected. Remember, today is the 44th day of the year. Kill equals 44. Execution equals 44. Did you see how kills also 64 in reverse? Look at Lupercalia. Today is the first day of Lupercalia, which runs February 13th through the 15th each year. Has to do with wolves and ritual sacrifice, if you want to look more into it. Ancient Roman festival. And you might also notice that Jim Guy Tucker was born on the day, leaving 201 days left in the year. It's interesting because Roman has that gematria 201. Very special number to the Jesuits. Keep the Holy Roman Empire alive and well within their traditions. But yeah, Jim Guy Tucker, a headline that most people won't even blink an eye at today. But again, almost every year we're here on this day talking about something like this. The biggest death on this day was Antonin Scalia. Already 9 years ago today. Time flies. Also big today, Donald Trump from the 132-room White House doubling down on his tariffs after winning the 60th election, which came after his ex-wife fell down the stairs and died exactly 60 weeks into the first ever Jesuitic nation year on July 14, 2022. Today has 60 date numerology. And notice, just the word tariff, the singular is 60, like Donald Trump is 60. And remember, he delayed his tariffs with Canada and Mexico to March 1st, the 60th day of the year. And again, the plural, tariffs, is 47, like Trump is 47. And again, his tariffs were imposed exactly 47 weeks after the anniversary of the publishing of The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, where he wrote in 1776, how tariffs were so destructive to nations and economies. And remember, Donald Trump has been installed 132 years since the last and only other split-term president in U.S. history, Grover Cleveland, whose second term led to economic destruction in the United States. So 132 years later, here we are with the rig selection where Donald had to sacrifice his ex-wife 45 years after their marriage. And again, a lot of blood sacrifices in the world of politics and entertainment, and there's a fine line between the two. That's why they keep putting entertainers in the Oval Office. But yeah, this whole, again, just the whole 60 minutes thing, it's all a joke. And by the way, since Trump's making tens of millions of dollars off people censoring him, it's like, well, why can't we, the common people, get that? Man, I need a 25. Did you see that? Facebook paid Trump 25 million. Trump 25, felon 25. It's just like, okay, man, I must be owed several $100 million for all the censorship I've gone through. Good God. Can't find a lawyer to represent ourselves, though, us little people. But yeah, all of this stuff is a joke. It's all news by the numbers. It's all part of the planned destruction of what is America. And again, it's all part of the big Jesuit plan that Klaus Schwab blurted out loud in June of 2020. By 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. Again, it's hard to believe that it could get that dramatic. It remains to be seen what could be done between now and then. But the message is clear. This is the direction of things. Life will be too expensive for people to own. They will have to settle, for being the serfs on the land, the mega rich owning it all. BlackRock's everybody's landlord, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, on the 60-date numerology, Trump doubles down on the tariffs. Go figure. And by the way, today is the 44th day of the year, right? So it's 24 days after he took office, or you could also say it's his 25th day in office, including January 20th. And again, just those 25% tariffs. He's doubling down on the 25th day. News by the numbers. Donald Trump's on puppet strings. The Jesuits in the Jesuit city run the show. Also, in case you missed it, Donald Trump, after Super Bowl 59, said, let's get rid of the penny. Remember, Super Bowl 59 was a rematch of Super Bowl 57, which was on Lincoln's birthday, the first ever Super Bowl between two black quarterbacks. This one being Super Bowl 59 when slave equals 59, the second time ever two black quarterbacks, and the same two that were in the Super Bowl on Lincoln's birthday. But of course, Lincoln is on the penny. And what's interesting is the penny with Lincoln was created in 1909, meaning this year is 116 years later. Super Bowl 57 and 59. What happens when you add those two numbers together? 116, right? And also, in light of him making his remarks on 2-9, Penny has the Gematria 69, also has the Gematria 61, like Philadelphia, who won the Super Bowl and gave Andy Reid his 61st loss with the Chiefs, facing his old team. But yeah, just everything being ritual. Everything being ritual. Trump said after the Super Bowl, it's time to get rid of the penny. And perhaps there's a history with that in New Orleans. Could be more to it than I know, but the Lincoln connection is obvious. And then just one more time, RFK Jr. has been confirmed 666 days after he gave his speech for why he was running on Ignatius of Loyola Day, April 19th, day of tragedy in history. Again, RFK Jr., also Jesuit educated at Georgetown Prep, but just one more time, 666 days after announcing why he was running, sworn in as the head of the health secretary. And the big concern is, what's he going to do with jabs? We know where Kennedy has the Sumerian Gematria 666, like the VACCINATION word. And in the time of the scandemic, remember that was declared 666 days after the first simulation for the scandemic, which took place May 15, 2018. But again, RFK Jr., he's said a lot of things that I think a lot of us who are awake agree with. It's just if you watched his confirmation hearings, it hasn't looked good, because he's been saying things like, whatever the CDC says is what I'll do. I'll go along with whatever the CDC says. Isn't that what they all do when they get in there? So what happened to all the tough talk? Again, I can't imagine that in any way this is a positive sign, the 666 thing. And I can't imagine that anyone who watches confirmation hearings is feeling positive about this. All the tough talk looks like it's out the window, and it looks like it's business as usual. These politicians who so often say the right things, but then they get into their thrones and they just toe the establishment line. But yeah, it has been really annoying to watch these hearings and listen to the candidates be like, listen, this is a very important position, and our nation's health is so important. We need the right person in there. It's like, well, I guess we've never had the right person in there, because this nation just keeps getting sicker and sicker and sicker and fatter and more disgusting and dumber. But yeah, it doesn't look like RFK Jr. is going to bring the change that a lot of people are hoping for. Looks like he's just another part of this beast system. And to remind of just how by the numbers a lot of this stuff was. By the way, Aaron Rodgers is in the news today too, getting the boot from New York. Remember, RFK Jr., he was one of RFK Jr., one of his first thoughts for who could be his vice presidential, running mate when he was running for office was Aaron Rodgers. So he picked the wealthy Jesuit educated woman, because it is all just a bunch of Jesuits. For the record, look at the way RFK and HHS overlap, his abbreviated title. And remember, Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services equals 220, like Donald John Trump. And remember, from his birthday to the day that he linked up with Trump, when he dropped out of his own race and endorsed Trump, that was the 220th day of his age. And again, Inauguration Day is 220 days after Trump's birthday. Everything's so rigged, we even ended up with 220 Republicans in the House of Representatives. By the way, if anyone's watched the new Black Hawk Down movie or series, remember, you just had the Black Hawk helicopter crash when Trump first took office, and then the other ritual that just happened on January 29th, the first day of the year of the snake, the same day that the RFK Jr. confirmation hearings began, when he's referred to himself as a snake, just like how Trump likes to read the snake poem. But again, we talked about how the two Black Hawk crash incidents in Trump's terms were 93 months apart, and how in 93, the Black Hawk Down incident happened in Somalia. And then right after the Black Hawk crashed in D.C. into the plane, we bombed Somalia. And again, the Black Hawk helicopter that just crashed on January 29th was part of the 12th Battalion, and the crash was 12 days before the new Black Hawk Down series came out. If you've turned it on, it's just in the opening minutes of the thing. It talks about how it's believed that the U.S. troops killed 312 Somalis in that Black Hawk Down incident. 312. Isn't that how many electoral votes they said Trump got? 312. And the last race in the House was called on the third day of the 12th month, 312. And again, Oprah asked Trump way back in 88 from the 312 area code if you'd want to be president someday. And that's where Kamala had the DNC this year. And again, Candyman, set in Chicago. Candyman actor died the day that the election was called for Trump. But anyway, just all this perfect ritualism, right? RFK Jr. joins up with Trump on the 220th day of his age, and now he's the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Again, at some point, my mom will end up watching this. And, my mom's pretty much like every other American. She'll just think it's all a coincidence because she just wants to like RFK Jr. She's like, oh, yeah, but he's good. It's like the point of the knowledge, to see the puppet show, not be like, oh, but I have an emotional attachment to this. Drop your emotional attachments and see the forest for the trees. It's political theater. All of these people are selling us out. Mom, if you watch this, wasn't Elizabeth Warren your favorite person before, along with Bernie Sanders? Elizabeth Warren probably did the best job against RFK Jr. because she pointed out how much money he has made from his anti-jab point of view. He makes millions off of this. And based on how he was real wishy-washy on everything he was asked, it looks like really at the end of the day, he's only in this for the money. That'd be my takeaway from watching the hearing, is say, okay, yeah, I might have lied a lot of his rhetoric because it's in line with what I think. But now I see that he just said, yeah, I'm just going to go along with whatever the CDC says. Okay. Anyway, like I always say, both sides of the political aisle are totally sold out. They don't represent any of us. None of them really mean a word they say. They're there for the power and the money and the influence. Point blank, period. Should be obvious to everyone. This incident that broke news today that happened yesterday, the USS Harry S. Truman, Team America World Police out policing the oceans, crashes near Egypt. There's probably a lot more to this, but yesterday when this crashed, it had 59 date numerology. Congrats to the winners. Nice big upset with Villanova yesterday. 59th win in the series. Again, just pay attention to your numbers. College to pro, where the numbers are, so are the wins. But anyway, Harry S. Truman, 59, right? On 59 date numerology, the Harry S. Truman crashes. And there are some other things that are interesting here, but again, just my point, just news by the numbers every day. If this really was wrecked and damaged, understand this ritual costs us, the taxpayers, money. How much is it going to cost to repair the USS Harry S. Truman that was clearly damaged? It's crazy the world we live in. Just every day they gotta make some mishap happen in the world for some headline, for some story. And at the end of the day, you think about it too. Yeah, the bills for the taxpayers, these make money for the people at the top, the military contractors, etc. It's like a game is being played every day with our money and our minds. Somebody asked if I could look into the self-deletion of Matthew Perna, one of the January 6th protesters who reportedly deleted himself on the 56th day of the year, February 25th, 2022. I don't remember if we covered this at the time or if this was overlooked, but look at his name, Matthew Lawrence Perna, 225. Self-deletion supposedly on 225. I'm guessing that wasn't a self-deletion. I'm guessing that was business as usual. In the land of politics, the land of ritual sacrifice. And he did die 243 days after his birthday, like Central Intelligence Agency's 243. Of course, that's the 56th day of the year, like Washington, D.C., like Society of Jesus. Reminded that the CIA was created in a massive Jesuit ritual on the 201st day of the Pope's age. And then the other thing that's suspicious about is they said he was living in South Korea before January 6th. So, again, who even knows what really happened here, but news by the numbers, no doubt about it. Also today, Valentine's Day, world leaders are gathering in Germany largely because of the shakeup and the concern with NATO and Trump saying that, yeah, Ukraine's not going to be able to join NATO. And Anyway, world leaders now gathering on Valentine's Day, and as they gather, supposedly someone from Afghanistan drives their car into a crowd. Perhaps this will be a trend for all of 2025. We've seen it in the past. I want to say it was like 2016 where this was happening left and right, cars flying into crowds. I have to go back and look at what year it was, but I was covering one of these every other week. Of course, the year started with this in New Orleans, New Year's Day in New Orleans. But car ramming has a gematria value of 97, which is the 25th prime. We've seen a lot of the 97 things in 2025. Plane crash equals 97. Plane crash overload in 2025. The fire in LA happened on the 97th day of the mayor's age. Fire 25. So again, just all things 97. Trends to look out for in 25. Car ramming is another one. And keep in mind where this happened, Munich. It's just outside of Bavaria where the Illuminati was founded. And the story was told in the media this morning by the leader of Bavaria, who's Marcus Sauter, whose name is pretty much identical to Jesuit order. A reminder that the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati in Bavaria. And I should have wrote it up there. The Illuminati equals 153, just like Marcus Sauter and Jesuit order. So world leaders gathering, right next to Bavaria. And don't forget how the Jesuit Illuminati fingerprints are all over the Ukraine-Russia debacle, along with what's going on in Israel, since that's largely what this gathering has to do with. Remember, the Jesuit order equals 201, Order of Illuminati 201. But both of these wars are just massive 201 rituals. And then the big tabloid news, again, Kanye West just got shamed on the 42nd day of the year. And now his newest wife, whose name equals 59, we always see this pairing of 59 and 42 in the black shaming, already divorcing Kanye, short-lived marriage. And they got married December 20th, 2022. From that day to the news being announced that they're getting divorced, it's the 113th week since the divorce, or excuse me, since the marriage. Again, in gematria, divorce equals 113. It also equals 40, like how today has a lesser 40 date numerology. February 13th, 25, 2 plus 13 plus 25. Her name, Bianca Sensori. That's how you say it. 113, which is the 30th prime number. That's how old she is right now. Remember, Kanye West equals 33 on the 33rd day of the year the Grammys fell on. And they're saying that was the fallout from the relationship. Him essentially making her wear this outfit where she was pretty much naked. And him covered up in all black so you couldn't even see who it was. And keep in mind, the word black equals 11. It's 11 days later, and the divorce news breaks. But yeah, I just look at this as another ritual shaming of a black man in Black History Month by the numbers. It makes him look like the bad guy. He's played the part of the villain here the last few years in the media, being Mr. Anti-Semitic, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I mean, his character is really goofy, but just year after year, shaming by the same numbers. On the 42nd day of the year, his sponsorship had to get dropped. And now 2 days later, this. Not the first time we've seen a divorce 113 ritual in the world of celebrity. Again, it alludes to what I've been saying for years, that these people are in arranged relationships with planned outcomes. And yeah, just the other day, it was the 42nd day of the year. Number stamped all over Black history, slavery, Tuskegee, the N-word, February itself, a million other things, 42. The 42nd day of the year. He's getting canceled by 33 and West. Remember, Kanye West equals 33, like the Grammys debacle this year was on the 33rd day of the year. And one more thing. Yesterday I just talked about, how silly it was with all these plane rituals connected to the football game. The day after the Vince Lombardi trophies handed out in Arizona, where the last Super Bowl between these two teams was, Super 57, Vince Neil's plane crashes into Vince Vaughn's. What's interesting about this is Vince Neil. Look at this. I'll just show you. Vince Neil equals Philadelphia Eagles in 2 out of 4 ciphers. 150.93. Look at Philadelphia Eagles. 150.93. Okay. And there's probably something about how the American Eagle jet hit the Black Hawk 93 months after the last Black Hawk that crashed in the time of Trump's administration. But Vince Vaughn, who's 54 years old, knows Vince Vaughn he's got the 126 and the 54, like where the Super Bowl was, New Orleans, 126, 54. But again, that model, fly, Eagles, fly, 54 forwards and backwards, just like Vince Vaughn, who's 54 years old. And like I said, how common of a name is Vince? It's not that common of a name. There's not a lot of Vinces. In the world, it's like Vince McMahon, of course, Vince Lombardi, these Vinces, Vince Carter. I mean, I can think of the name in the world of celebrity, but I don't think I've ever known a Vincent personally in my own life. I don't think I've ever known a single one. So there's no way it's that common of a name. So what are the odds that just the day after the Super Bowl, we've been showing how all these crashes are perfectly synced? And the last one before the Super Bowl was in Sao Paulo, where the NFL season began for the Eagles in the Sao Paulo Antonio Bowl, a joke that ESPN had. But remember, from that crash, or from the Eagles winning the game over the Packers to the crash in Sao Paulo, was exactly 22 weeks later. And again, the Chiefs ended up losing with 22 points and picking up their 22nd postseason loss, where in 3 of the 4 Eagles games in the postseason, 22 was in the box score. But yeah, and that was one other thing about Vince Vaughn. It was 87 days before his birthday that this happened. Philadelphia Eagles also 87. So yeah, just I mean, again, the people that make these things happen, absolutely insane in terms of the ritualism. It's like destructive ritualism day after day, and at the end of the day, everyone essentially ends up paying the tab. This is going to be an insurance claim. Insurance claims collectively are the reason insurance rates continue to rise. Setting fires to cities by the numbers. Everyone's insurance is through the roof. Again, the psychopaths and the ritualism. Things the world needs to catch on to. I've got a lot of comments lately that my channel has become too boring to watch. Maybe so, because I'm not ranting as much. I feel like a lot of people were tuning in exclusively for the ranting. But it's sad that everybody just wants to be entertained at the end of the day. It's like people should be here for the knowledge and the information and help getting out the word, waking up humanity. But I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, it's the deficiency of humanity. They just want to be entertained, food in the mouth, roof over the head. They got those things. They're good to go. I see this story about the whale going after the kayaker. Must have thought it was a seal. Jonah in the what is it? Yeah, Jonah. I'm not even going to look into it right now. All right. Thank you, Paula. Appreciate it, Paula, the kitchen witch. Always with gifting the memberships. $1 richer. Thank you. All right. I don't want to go too much longer. I got about 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to drop a link for anybody who would like to hop on. If you guys got a news story out there that I missed or something I need to cover, I'm looking for that in the chat too. If you guys want anything, or you guys have anything to share with topics covered or other relevant topics, please feel free to hop on. All right, King Richard's got something to share. He's always got a good observation. I see Jack is in the chat. What's up, Jack? I'll drop the link one more time. All right, Black's Pixel. Link is dropped. You guys are welcome to hop on. And again, I do got to wrap this up in about 15 minutes or so. But we can take a few quick calls. And again, if you don't want to hop on, but there's something that you wish I would have covered or you think I missed, oh, Oh, okay. You know what? I figured out who Tier Blue is. I've noticed that name a lot lately, and now I know who Tier Blue is. The person who goes by 1,000 aliases. I can tell by the comments you're leaving. I know. Okay. Uh, Day after the Super Bowl, S&P 500 closed at 6066. God, wasn't there a 666 ritual with the Dow years back after Brady lost Super Bowl 52? Didn't it drop 666 points? Hold on. I remember there was one year with the Super Bowl, they did a wild ritual with the Dow. Yeah. All right, we got Mark Smith in the building. What's up, Marcus?
How's it going, Zach? Long time no here, man. Congratulations on that new baby, brother.
Is that you from New Orleans?
That's it, brother. That's it. I'm watching the live stream now. Let me
I
mute
gotta
it. Let
tell
me
you how
mute
weird the
you.
world is. You have never come on here on a live stream. For some reason, when I woke up this morning,
I love you, Zach,
you're
man. I
the
just want
first
to tell
thing I
you that.
thought of. I don't even know why, honestly, because I mean, you used to call in all the time. I was like, I just part of my mind
Man,
was like, I haven't heard from that gentleman in a long
I
time.
still listen to you. I'm still here, man. You know what, Zach? I think it was what you were saying just the other day when we were talking because, I've been listening to the streams, but now, after Super Bowl 59, as we all know, the only men of color that has won the Super Bowl was for, of course, the Chiefs, Arrowhead, we know Chiefs, Seattle, they did it. And we also know Washington did it. But those were the only three teams with the black quarterbacks. But now that I heard you mention the other day, Super Bowl 59, now that another black quarterback has won with Philadelphia, it seemed like the curse is broke. Now I think now Lamar can win because you know what I used to tell my boys all the time. I'm like, I love Lamar, but I don't think he's gonna win because he played for the wrong team. I always used to tell him that. Like you play for the wrong team, man. A lot of these guys just play for the wrong team. But Zach, man, I love you, man. Love your work. I mean, I know it's been a long time since we've talked to each other, man. But I've been checking you out still to this day, man, all the time. But, with work and just the rigmarole of life, really hadn't had an opportunity to just really, really get on. And I know I was listening to you just now, and you was like, well, man, I got like 15 minutes left. So if you want to get on, I'm going to drop the link. So I'm like, man, let me holler at Zach, see what's going on before he get off of here, man. What's going on, Zach, man? How you been, brother?
I don't know, but there's something magical about life because for whatever reason, right when I woke up this morning, I thought about you. I was like, that gentleman has not called in a long time. I wonder if he still follows the work.
Yeah, of course.
I know I'm just blown away because you've never come on a live stream before. So I'm like, how did I have that thought this morning? And here you are. It's amazing.
And here I am. Zach, I guess you put it out there in the universe, and that's just how it goes, man. Let me ask you this. These people that are dying behind all these rituals, behind sports, and so many other things, Zach, do you believe that they know that they're getting ready to die? Or do you believe that they know there's something fishy going on? Because I'm like, all of these people that's dying in rituals behind sports and just the theater and all of these other things, I'm like, and the handlers, I'm like, is it the handlers that know that they're gonna die, or how do these people just miss out on them knowing that they're gonna die? They can't do nothing about it, and I'm like, that's so fucked up, man. I'm like, y'all know y'all gonna die, and I'm like, the people around y'all, they not saying nothing to you guys, and it's just like what you say, Zach. They all dying by the numbers, and I'm like, man, if you know this is going on, why is nobody stopping it? I hear you all the time when you be saying, why is this work not reaching the world? You talk about videos or live streams that you had, in time past where you couldn't even upload the video and you got 100,000 views on it, man. I don't know what's going on, Zach. And it seemed like the more truth you tell, it seemed like there's gonna be like a straying away. It's just like what the book say, man. When you for truth and you doing what you're gonna do, in most cases it's gonna be a strand away, man. You'll have a lot of people that fall off, but that's okay because real gonna stick with the real, man. Don't worry about who you're not reaching. Worry about the people that you are reaching, like people like me and people that you talk to and communicate with all over the world that follow your work, no matter what. I mean, I was listening to you a few months ago. It seemed like you got discouraged a little bit. You was like, man, damn, I'm thinking about just getting this shit up, man. I work so hard, man, and people don't respect the work. But a lot of people came on and showed you love. Even when your birthday came, a lot of things. Zach, we love you out here, man, because even though there's a lot of people that have, created channels based off your work, and people always trying to do this and people always trying to do that. But I get what you're saying. In most cases, they won't pay homage or give credit where it's due, because you're the first person in my life that I ever heard talk about Gematria. And it's stemming back from like 2016, 15 in them days. Nobody else was doing it. But now people, they've gotten to a point where they've learned the language. They've learned how to do a little bit of decode. Some of them on their own. Some of them still pay homage. But I don't understand why they ain't putting it out there. I really don't get it, man. I mean, now you say what you want to say behind this, Zach, but I just really don't get it. I follow your work since 15. I know it's like 15. I've been following your work since like 15. Yeah, 15 going into 16, something like that.
Yeah, 10 years now. It's a long time.
Yeah,
To
man.
answer your original question, I don't think a lot of these young guys, like I don't think the 21-year-old Ohio State football player knew that for playing on the Ohio State team, his life was going to get cut short at 21. But this stuff goes on every year. And I'm reminded of when I was down at the LSU campus, there were some guys on the football team who just like gave me a bad look and like, whatever, get out of here. But there were members of the football team who came over and listened attentively. And the way they looked at me was like real sincere. And they're like, thank you for sharing this. And I said to them, honestly, the reason I'm here doing this is because I feel bad every time I read about, these dead players connected to these championship teams. And, I was down there showing them how Tyshawn Dye's death for Clemson was perfectly connected to the game. The LSU won over Clemson at the beginning of the season. They said Tyshawn Dye drowned by the numbers, and all the other people that died and connected to the town of New Orleans for that LSU championship that year in 2020. Yeah. But some of those players, you could tell, like no idea about any of this, and it was kind of blowing their mind and creeping them out. But they were glad to know, because I was saying, listen, man, being aware of this might protect you. You might realize like something's up. You might, again, a lot of these guys get found dead in hotel rooms and stuff. Sometimes I think they got like some female. I don't know how they do it, but a lot of these guys end up dead in the hotel room. Again, knowledge is power. And, I feel like if more of these young guys on these football squads had this information, it would make it less likely that they end up in the obituaries like they do every single year. So,
and Zach, you know what? That's the thing that it trips me out. I'm like, people know about this. You talk about the movie Murder by the Numbers. I mean, everything. Even when they come to the sports, they even said it couldn't have been scripted any better than that. They put it in our face, but when you expose it and you tell the world about it, some people get mad. And I hear you all the time, talking about congrats to the winners, congrats to the winners, congrats to the winners. And even with that, Zach, you're going to always have some people, hey, keep doing what the hell you doing, man, because you know what? This knowledge probably save their life. If it don't save their life, it'll help put money in your pocket. This knowledge is power, Zach. And I really don't understand when you be dropping videos why you don't get 100,000 views like you used to, man. Hell, the video just hit, 15, 20 minutes later, it's already up 80, 90, 100K. I don't get it now. I mean, some videos be getting 10 and 12. I'd be like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, the work is so much better now. I'm like, boy, you done came a long damn way, man. Your knowledge is infinite when it comes to this, man, and it's so much more pure. I don't get why the community is not, hell, you have 1 million subs like some of these knuckleheads out there, man. You ain't trying to sell us merch. You ain't trying to do all of those things. You got books with common sense in it, something that you can go buy at your everyday bookstore and learn from, something that's going to better your life, something's going to put you in a better position. But now, people polarize what they do, they channels, they making money off their channels. And I ain't mad at nobody for doing it. I mean, get your hustle on any way you can. I ain't no hater, but I'm like, for the knowledge and for the pain-stricken hours that you put into it, I think you deserve more. Now that you have an addition to your family, you got the little sweet baby now with sweet lady, man. I'm so proud of you, bro. I mean, like I said, I've been following you 10 years, man, for sure. I'm proud of you. I'm seeing your growth, man. And I think, the community, I can't speak for nobody else, but I got to treat you better, man, by spreading the word, man. I got to treat you better. Start with me. And if everybody, take the responsibility and put it out there and hold themselves accountable and responsible, I think we can get a whole lot further, man. A whole lot further. And put this community on top. Like I said, a lot of legs have grown from your channel, Zach. And I thank the man upstairs for that. I know we don't do religion and all that, and that's okay. But that's a blessing. I'll say it that way. It's a blessing to be able to put work out like this through other people. So there are disciples out there, but I think it should be many, 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 many more disciples. And I think when you are streaming live, I think we should have at least 10,000 people on, listening to the live stream, at least, if not more, when you get on, because the knowledge is power, man. And anytime when you be live streaming, I see you. Like you said, I don't be on all the time, but when you drop videos, whether they are hour and a half or 6 minutes or whatever, I watch all your work. I haven't stopped watching your work, man. And I just so happen, I'm like, man, I got to holler at Zach. He said he had a few minutes, and I know I'm a little long-winded, but brother, I ain't seen you, ain't talked to you in a while, man. It's good to hear your voice. I'm still following your work. But if you will, Zach, I'll give you my number if you still don't have it, because it's something I want to do with you, man. And I just, just want to talk to you about it, if that's okay, because
You
I
see
know
how
we
there's
on
something
live.
that says private chat here?
Let me see. Well, I'm on my phone. Even though I'm at home, I'm on my phone. Let me see here.
Private chat is where you'd want to drop your phone number, just so everyone doesn't see it.
Yeah,
You don't want to put
darn.
your phone number out on this stream with all the trolls and agents and haters that are around, because they'll be harassing you without a
Oh,
doubt.
yeah. Let me see chat. Let me see. Chat. Let me see if I get the private chat. Let me see. It's recording. Chat with everyone. No chat in studio.
Oh shoot, he dropped himself off. Marcus, if you're out there, just text me your number on here, Marcus, and just say it's Marcus. Text this number, Marcus. This is my contact number for the work. Marcus, just text 509-560-4982 and say it's Marcus. But yeah, I'm not even kidding you guys. You probably recognize him if you've been around. He used to call in all the time, but he hasn't. I was just about to put you on Endgame. He has not called in for. He just came back on. He has not called in for a long time, and he's never come on the live stream. But no, I really did. I woke up this morning, and for some reason, I think I know he's a Louisiana guy, and the Super Bowl is just down there. But he was the first thing I thought of today. It's so weird. It blows my mind.
Zach,
Hey,
it blow
Marcus,
my mind too, bro.
send a text message to that 509 number. But I do
All
got to
right,
wrap this
I'm
up
writing it
too.
down now. I'm writing it down now so I can do it. Let me see. There's something I gotta run by you, man, and I know that you could help with some things, and I can help with some things, man. And I think you're gonna like this, brother. I think you're gonna like it, man. How staying up late at night been doing you, man? You been able to get some rest, man, since you got the new baby? I know rest is like hell. I don't know if you rested. You been able to get you some rest, man?
Uh, not as much as I would have hoped for, but I heard it gets better around the 4-month mark, so I'm looking forward to that. She'll be 3
Yeah,
months on
man.
the 16th.
Yeah, Zach. Yeah, man. You know what? Again, brother, I am so proud of you, man. And look, I'm gonna tell you like this, like I said once before, man. Whatever it is, don't. I know the haters and the trolls are out there, but if people actually told the truth, Zach, you probably made a lot of money for a lot of people if they admitted it. Now you have some people that admit it, but you also have some people that don't want to admit it, or they look at the work, or they try to mimic the work, or so many other things. I think the community should really, really, really just have a overhaul, man, and just really, really grasp what's really going on and really see it, man, because it's gonna hurt us in the end. We're the ones that suffering the whole time. And it's just a small community out there, Zach, and don't worry about it. Even if it's just a small community out there of us that really appreciate the knowledge. Hey man, go with what you got, because we ain't going nowhere. Well, I know I'm not going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. There's too many people that love the work, care about the work, learn from the work, make money off the work, it's so many things that is happening behind this work, man. So if you haven't, some days when they get a little tough for you, man, if you got to just take some time and just go, feed the baby or whatever you do, and he'll go out the back door and scream, but don't leave
That's
us
what I
out
have
here
to go
like
do here
that.
in a minute, Marcus. I bet because I told Sweet Lady I wouldn't go too long. I said give me 30 minutes. I already went over 30 minutes, so that's what I got to go do.
All right. I'm finna text you, man. Hey, Zach, man, I love you, man. Stay up, bro. Stay up, man. Stay up, man. Much love to you. I'm about to text you this now, man.
Appreciate you, Marcus. You have a good night.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. All right.
Yes, sir. All right.
Yeah. Life is strange. Life is strange. All right. Endgame. Please, if you could do it as efficiently as possible. What's going on?
Sir, I just wanted to elaborate on the Kanye West, on how it happened 3 months and 3 weeks into his upcoming June 8th birthday. Kanye West equates to 33. Also, divorced equates to 44. And it's the 44th day of the year. And then lastly, if you check out one of my recent Instagram posts, it's in-game exposure on Instagram. Uh, I, s- I caught this one guy who posted, so I kind of reposted it and did it my way, but he broke down how the Kansas City shooting parade was foreshadowing Super Bowl 59's the score outcome, the 40-22 and 18-point differential. Yeah, that one right there. Yes. Honestly, it's crazy how to the T it is.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And again, it's funny how they make all
Hello?
the things
You
fit.
there?
Again, 40 acres and a mule connected to slavery, 40 points on the 40th day of the year. If you spell out 40 acres and a mule, it equals 105, like the 105th season. Yeah, it does. Yeah, ties in perfectly with the shooting too.
Oh
Yeah, that is
shoot.
crazy. Yeah, perfect.
Hello?
All right, all right. Anything else? Oh, is he still there? Are you still there? One way or another, we can't hear him. Thank you again, Paula, for gifting a membership. Thank you, Oscar Garcia, for chipping in another 5. Appreciate it. Shout out to John Mendoza, always with the generous too. And I think we'll keep it short and sweet. I do got to get off. Thank you, Endgame Exposure. If you guys want to check out his Twitter, I'll drop the link in the chat. He's doing good work and deserves more followers. All right. Yeah. Endgame Exposure, did you come back?
Yeah. Okay, I had lost connection there. My bad.
What, was there more you wanted to say?
Oh, that was just about it. Just breaking down that Kansas City shooting parade and how it all tied into the score of Super Bowl 59 to the T.
Yeah. Yeah. Great work as always. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. And Valentine's Day tomorrow. See what the Munich World Leader Conference brings. Till next time, everybody. Have a good night.